What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK BLAM back on another beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon with the next episode, or the newest episode, I should say, of the Shop Podcast. I know I missed last week. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, had a massive headache, but I appreciate the support. Everybody showed love. Wish me to feel better. So I appreciate you guys coming out this week and rocking out with us. We got some great lineup here of gamers. Some of my family, like I said, I don't even call them the panel anymore. They're just family at this point. So I want to go ahead and go around the panel and let them introduce themselves. We're going to go ahead and start with you, She-Wolf.
Hey everybody, of course, you know who I am. I'm She-Wolf. I'm here to talk some gaming, and I got a bad echo.
Yeah. Okay, She-Wolf. Well, she is the secretary for everybody on YouTube who has a podcast, or Twitter, I should say, who has an Xbox podcast. So we're going to go ahead and open it up for the governor. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
What's up, everybody? This podcast has the seal of approval. Governor approves of this podcast. It's going to be a great time, man. I love talking games with these guys, so it's going to be fantastic. Let's get into it.
For sure. And then my other buddy here, my other guy, Fred, go ahead and shout yourself out, brother.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on again. It seems like I haven't been on here in a while, man, but I'm glad to be here, so let's get it on.
For sure. And once again, the chat is live, everybody. So if you have any questions, I want to give a few quick shout outs. Shout out to Asthmatic 117. If you don't know, he's the other guy, part of this whole conglomerate, I guess you can call it, with GKB, Predator, me, Brutal, as far as the Shop podcast. Shout out to him. Shout out to my little bro, Elite Gamer 9008. Huge shout out to him. Tim Dog, also Mooch. I'll holler at you next week, man. I saw the DM you sent me. But and my family, just for allowing me to do the podcast thing, my wife and then my two kids. So appreciate that, and you guys also too for coming and watching. So let's just go ahead and dive into the topics. I've been kind of away from Twitter for a little bit. I've been keeping an eye on things and seeing what's going on as far as the video game news. But the first thing I wanted to start off with here, I kind of wanted to talk about Xbox hitting its stride this year, because I mean it really feels like they've kind of, with the new hardware coming up, the Xbox One S, whether you think the E3 was lackluster or could have been a lot better, I really feel like the biggest thing for me is that Xbox has a vision and they have a clear goal and focus at this point, and it seems like everybody is on board, including the Xbox community. So I wanted to get you guys' opinions on how you guys feel about that, if you guys feel the same way or if you may feel differently. So we're going to go ahead and start with you, Pred. How do you feel about the Xbox One hitting its stride this year and early into next year?
I mean, one of the first podcasts I did with you guys was like, how we started talking about the new console already. And I remember saying something to the likes of like, we're just hitting our stride with this console that we have now. But it seems, like with the announcement of the Scorpio and the Slim, people have a lot more to look forward to. There's been a huge change in the community, like a huge shift, at least it seems like anyway to me, where like it's starting to become more popular again, starting to get us, from Aaron Greenberg's quote, getting their swag back, So I think, as far as the original Xbox One, I think that console will slowly trickle and die out, but the Slim will be kind of like a reawakening for this generation as far as it goes for Xbox. So yeah, I think this is the perfect time for us. We got a lot of games coming out this year. We've had good games in the past. This wasn't getting a lot of credibility through the media, but now that we've actually got the people who kind of swung over to the Sony side kind of swinging back this direction, you'll start seeing the trend of a lot of gamers, talking more Xbox positive news. So yeah, I think you're right in that statement.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with that, man. I just feel like, especially in the community, that's really where I see the change. Because before, we were talking about this a little bit before the show, everybody, just kind of pre-show, about how just the community, the feeling in the community, everybody's on the same page, and I think from Phil Spencer down, everybody is excited about what they're doing. I mean, you see Phil, you see Aaron, Kudo, all these guys, Major Nelson, don't want to miss anybody, Mikey Barra. They've been really interacting with the community a lot. I've never seen so many Xbox execs on so many podcasts, with the community as of recently. Not only that is that I really feel like that Xbox One S low key it was like a B12 shot for Xbox. I really feel like that. Then with the leaked announcement of that beautiful Gears 4 Xbox One S, I think that's really got people excited because we haven't seen much in the way of custom consoles from Xbox. I think Halo was probably I think that was it, if I'm correct. Halo was like the only custom console that we actually got. So I think that was a really,
Well,
really
wait,
cool.
for
Forza,
you
right?
mean
Forza.
are you talking
Forza.
about the Xbox One?
Yeah, the Xbox One. Sorry, Forza 2.
You actually have Forza. You also have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Oh well, I don't
Oh,
even
yeah, I
count
forgot
that
about that
one.
one.
Yeah, I don't even
I
count
know.
that.
Hey, it still came out as its own
You're
custom
right. You're right.
Was there a Titanfall one as well?
Yeah, there's like
No.
a
There
really
was a
limited one.
there
No,
was a
there
that was
wasn't.
no that was
There
something
was
you
a
had to win.
controller.
Yeah.
That was a controller, but I think maybe there was a Titanfall contest where you could win one because a lot of times they do contests where you can win a custom one, but it's not available to everybody. So that's kind of how it's been. But I just keeping on track here. I just feel like they've been really hitting their stride with the idea of the whole one ecosystem, and I think everybody's getting on board with that idea and coming to terms with that's kind of how it's going to be moving forward and that play anywhere, play everywhere type idea. So go ahead, GKB. How do you feel about Xbox hitting their stride moving forward?
Yeah, man, like going back, we seen like, mixed messaging from Microsoft, and a lot of us on the podcast were like, their messaging's just not strong. It's kind of confusing, and then they did just about a 180 now. Their messaging is really tight. They're on point with a lot of stuff. I think what Predator said, like, hit it on the head with the Xbox Slim there. That's kind of like the rebranding, almost like a relaunch, if you will. It's got a lot of cool features. It looks really good. They really listened to the community and what they wanted. No more power brick that's inside. And yeah, I totally agree. Like, the community has been a lot better now because it was a lot of like even inner fighting and stuff like that. But now that all this has changed and all this new stuff's coming, it's getting back to being about the games. It's not no more like resolution this, resolution that. It's all about what games we're going to be playing, how much fun we're going to have in those games. Like, I've been in multiple conversations about like Sea of Thieves, and we're going to be walking the plank and getting a bunch of ships and going out and doing all kinds of cool stuff. So man, it's going to be a great time, man.
Definitely. And I think that's what the biggest change has been, GKB. Just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, are the games are taking the forefront because we got a lot of good games, even things that aren't completely exclusive to Xbox. We're excited about these third-party games and these multi-plats coming out. I mean, outside of Call of Duty, anyway.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, that's what it's really all about. I mean, there's like the console war, if you will, for whatever side. But really, what it always comes down to is like the games. How fun are we having these games? It's just that's what it's about, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, She-Wolf. What's your opinion on that also, too, love?
Well, truthfully, when it comes to the whole Xbox community and when it comes to just, Xbox in general, they have so much going on that they're pushing like even new features that have all come, they're listening to the fans, they're bringing everybody like the background music and Cortana, and they're bringing things that the fans want, and that alone is completely moving forward and showing what they got and what they want to bring. And, they really keep gamers informed about what's going on, whether they're interacting on Twitter or whether they're, showing up on podcasts. Like TXR got Aaron Greenberg on there. So they're doing a lot of great things that are, pushing forward with Xbox, and they're also standing up for things as well. They've quoted things, whether it was Mike Ibarra or whether it was Phil Spencer or even Aaron Greenberg, where they're actually coming out and saying, hey, look, we're doing this, so check this out. Like their last commercial that they did for Xbox Live, they are showing what they have now, and they are proud of what they're doing, and that's what we want to see.
Definitely. Good point. Yeah, that's true. And you and GKB and Predator even hit the nail on the head about the messaging. PR was a big problem, especially early that's kind of what got them, kind of behind in the first place with the whole DRM situation, which is kind of long gone. We don't even talk about that anymore. But lo and behold, nobody cares anymore. See how that works?
I think it's just
they
just
have
gotta work.
questions about their marketing right now. It's kind of pissing me off too.
Really?
Well, I like what they're doing. I like the direction they're going right now. But my My biggest issue right now is, we are less than 2 weeks away from August, and we've not gotten a release date for the Slim.
Yeah. No, I
I
can
mean,
definitely see.
that bothers me. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's the
not that
end
I'm
of
worried about
August.
it.
We know that.
We don't know that because they never said, okay, it will be in stores on this date. We've not heard that at all from
There's no
Microsoft. They
dates
said
online or anything from
no.
Amazon or anybody
They have a
else.
placeholder date of August 31st.
Oh, okay. Well,
And then I
I mean,
hear August 2nd. I hear August 18th. I hear, but like you would think if they're releasing this thing in August, they would at least tell us the specific
yeah.
date of what it's going to be
Well,
out.
I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure what the holdup is. I wasn't aware because I thought there was a date, so I wasn't aware that there was like a placeholder date or whatever the case may be. Um, Not sure what the holdup would be. Honestly, I don't know if anybody else has any ideas on why they haven't released a hard date at this point. I mean, maybe we can get a hard date from somebody, but I mean the only thing I could think of is that um I can't even. I mean, I can't even say that because why would they wait? If they didn't have to. Hmm, I don't know. I mean, I can't. GKB maybe. Can you think of anything that would slow the not why or reason why they wouldn't give a date?
Not really, man. Like maybe they're just trying to make sure they have enough for the demand
It
before they
could
can
be
sell a
that.
date.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the only thing I could think of, man.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, pre-orders drive demand. So I mean, this close, I don't know if they would still be. I mean, maybe they're still in production, and they're just trying to figure out, okay, how many of these things do we actually need to make? That's the only thing I could think of before we give a date. But usually,
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about it too, like they have like technically 3 SKUs. They have the 500 gig, the 1 TB, and then the 2 TB. So, they're probably figuring out
aren't,
like where everything's going.
yeah, don't aren't those coming out different days too or different times? Like the 2 TB
And the
coming
fact
out.
that you asked that question just adds to the more confusion that I'm talking about right now. Because like nobody knows. Like, and then you
Yeah,
think they
yeah.
would come out and say, okay, we're releasing the 500 gig on this date, we're releasing the 1 TB on this date. Because I've heard August for the 2 TB. I've heard as far as December for the 500 gig and the 1 TB. But this is mixed messaging.
Okay.
So, and I mean, maybe it is August. Maybe they'll release all of them in August. Who knows? But like the fact that we have to sit here and guess, is what's the frustrating part from my aspect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. So, I mean, maybe we'll get a release date here soon. It could happen. We can get a tweet right after the show's what a release date. So who knows? I mean, it could happen at any time. Then that question will be answered. So let's just, I know everybody's jonesing for that S. I know everybody is. I know the demand is high, and it just made it worse with them showing that Gears one actually.
That's the one.
So yeah, so people are like canceling their pre-orders for the white one and trying to get the Gears one, which I know was kind of difficult. Some people couldn't even pre-order it. Some people couldn't get in fast enough. So hopefully, Microsoft clears that up. That issue up in particular. We don't want gamers going out. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And I wasn't really going to. I was kind of debating on whether to bring this up or not, but it was kind of in relation to what's going on with Nintendo now. Anybody who doesn't live somewhere in like an ice cave knows that Pokemon Go is like a phenomenon right now. And so I kind of wanted to talk about the fact that in lieu of Pokemon Go being this huge, huge, huge app for Nintendo, and everybody knows that they're going to release this mini NES. It comes with 30 games, $60. Most people, the gamers that are my age, I know everybody here on the panel is probably going to pick one up just for the simple fact that nostalgia purposes. You love the old NES. I wish it would have been a Super Nintendo, but whatever. But just the fact that that's kind of for the next 5 months, we're not seeing anything for the Wii U. So
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. So give me a second, everybody. Give me a second.
Sure.
Go ahead, She-Wolf.
All right. Well, if we're gonna talk about, let's just kind of start on Pokemon Go because I know you just, you're against it, so maybe we might get a debate here. But, but Pokemon Go is kind of funny. One, it's getting people out walking. It's getting, people exercising, which is great, especially for your kids. Like, and I have to say, this is probably what the biggest marketing for this is definitely, the kids, especially most of them nowadays have cell phones. I know, but hey, I'm just saying. It's funny though watching people walk around trying to like collect all these Pokemon and the funny pictures. Like Fox sent me this weird one of like two of them humping, and it was really weird. It was. It wasn't even like the camera. What you call it when they're actually in focus? It was actually like on the map. So that was kind of interesting, but it's just good to see that people are getting out there, they're enjoying something that's just fun and active.
Let me just say I'm not against Pokemon. Okay, I don't have a problem with Pokemon. It's just not my kind of game. I know right now
Yeah.
Microsoft is just like chomping at the bits right now because this looks like a perfect game for HoloLens if they ever release something like this. But I mean, I see the positives for this. Putting my business hat on for a minute, this is great for Nintendo because like they were like out there, like that nothing going for them until the NX comes out, at this point in time. But like they've announced that they came out with Pokemon Go, which has been a fucking hit for them, and then the micro NES, if you want to call it that, which is probably going to be another hit for them. And they'll probably do I think PTK just said it a minute ago, like he wished it was a Super NES, whatever, and they'll probably do that shit later, But I think this is like it's a hit for Nintendo. I mean, it's good for them to get this game out. It just kind of like helps them transition into the mobile market, like what they were planning on doing anyway.
You know what's funny though? No one actually brings up the fact that this game is free. Like, why didn't Nintendo actually charge, like, say, $1 or $2.99, like the standard app?
Oh, they'd be making bank right now if they did.
Yeah.
But
Are there
why
microtransactions in
didn't
this?
they? I've never actually officially looked. I've never actually looked into that. So if anyone in the chat possibly knows, is there microtransaction on Pokemon Go? But I was thinking about that when they first brought this out. They didn't ask anyone to pay for it, which I was kind of surprised to see.
I don't know. For me, it's like, like a couple of podcasts ago, we were like, man, Nintendo's going to be like bringing IPs to the phone, the mobile, and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, don't do this. Give us like a traditional console, and da-da-da. Touche, Nintendo, you knew what the hell you were talking about. And I said this on the console corner, is like 8 million in like 5 days that people downloaded this game. Yeah, it's free. But I even think at like 99 cents or $2 even, like people still would have like ate this game up. And touching on what Predator was saying too about like the HoloLens, like this is kind of like letting people see what like the HoloLens is all about too, like the whole alternate reality thing, like seeing Pokemons in the real world through your phone kind of thing. So I think that's gonna give a lot of momentum for the HoloLens when that comes out as well.
Especially if anyone, who knows, maybe Nintendo might, head over to doing ARs instead. But I guess someone said in the chat that there possibly there are microtransaction. You can buy Pokeballs and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I saw that.
but
So,
I still think they should have charged for the game
yeah,
itself.
they should. They'd be.
Oh yeah, they'd be rolling in it right
Yeah.
now.
But this is kind of leads into them kind of maybe, like I said, they've been talking about going into the mobile market, and this is like a good test for them, to see to get a feel, and I remember mentioning this on Twitter to somebody, and it's like, oh yeah, this is just like a good in for Nintendo to start making their games multi-plat, So
Yeah.
maybe one day, I still would like to see some Mario on my Xbox, but
That would be fantastic, man.
this looks like the perfect segue for them to kind of start working in that direction.
I can't wait till they actually do like a Mario game on the mobile and see how that does, because Pokemon's cool. I think it fits the mobile market, but I would like to really see like a Zelda or a Mario on mobile phones to really see how those IPs do on a mobile platform for sure.
I'm sure it's probably around the corner here, pretty soon after the NX launch. If the NX fails, let's put it that way, I think they'll start slowly transitioning to that market.
Yeah, do you guys are they going to show that at the Tokyo Game Show, the NX? Do you think?
I've not heard anything.
I don't think so, which is kind of weird because isn't it coming out in March?
Yeah, so they'd have to show it at the Tokyo Game Show, I think.
There's no other major conferences unless they do their own thing.
Yeah, they could do that too. But
I don't think there's any other major conferences going on.
Unless they just decide not to show it off like that at all and just do like a commercial or something and just announce it. Wouldn't be the first time.
That'd be weird. You know, it's funny when you say that because I don't ever remember hearing anything about the Wii U prior to it coming out either.
Exactly.
I just kind of walked in the store. I was like, "Oh, that's the Wii U." Like, you know.
I actually saw it on a commercial before I saw it anywhere else. It was just randomly on a commercial. So I was like, oh.
A Brownies 92 is asking, like, will the NX be a handheld platform? What do you guys think?
I know initially there was talk that it was going to be coming out in two different parts.
Right.
The handheld part was supposed to come out this year, and then the actual console was supposed to come out next year. I guess maybe they scrapped those plans, but I don't know. I mean, they have the handheld market on lock right now, so I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
Truthfully, I think they should just take their handhelds and turn them into like mini tablets and just kind of stick with all that form of marketing instead of just, kind of stay out of the console type area. And then I think they would probably succeed pretty well if they did that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm going back to like the whole hybrid thing. I think it's going to be like a mix of both. Like you're going to have like this little box there, and then when you want to leave, you probably take like this controller with you, possibly, and then you could still play your games or a form of that game on it. I think that's a good possibility.
There's just so many questions about their console right now. No one knows what the hell they're doing. It would be ironic if they end up having a stronger console, like a more powerful console than the Neo.
That would be interesting.
That would be really interesting. So.
Yeah.
Which, of course, speaking of the NX, what about that mini NES?
Oh, I'm getting that like day one. What's really cool is like it's kind of cool and it's kind of bad. Like they give you like 30 games. They're like almost the top games like on NES. And then but you can't add any other games to it, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, they're giving you some really good ones. They're just riding that nostalgia train right now, like just getting the hype going. So
and maybe that's the direction they're gonna go. Instead of trying to focus so much on like powerful console and 4K gaming, maybe they're gonna kind of tailor to the older gamers like ourselves that have been around for a while and kind of give us that those old school games.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even just that. Something like this is also perfect for kids too. Because you can just pretty much like hook it up to your TV. It's easy to move. Like it's the size of your hand, or even Snaps was talking about this on the next podcast, where it's great for Christmas, and I had actually mentioned that also on the Crossfire chat when they were talking about that. For older people, like for instance GKB's aunt and stuff who used to play those systems, it'd be a great Christmas present for like kids or even just older family members as well.
There is Microtrans. Elite hit me up on Twitter. There is Microtrans in Pokemon.
Yeah, I saw him in the chat.
So that's awesome. So yeah, they're probably still making bank then. Getting them Pokecoins.
Got a question from Chicken Spaghetti earlier when we first started, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said,
Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I'm back now. I do apologize, everybody that's watching live. I'm so sorry. I had to go do something real quick.
Oh, sorry, man. I was about to go over a question that Chicken Spaghetti.
Oh, go ahead.
He said, do you guys think Microsoft will announce a game or two at Gamescom, or give release dates for indies like Cuphead and below?
Man, I think. So they're not going to do a briefing or anything like that, so I think new games are out of the question. There's rumors of them possibly doing like their own Xbox event later this year. Yeah. So if they're going to show anything new, it's probably going to be in there. But I definitely could see them giving like release dates, maybe in like a daily show or something, like a Gamescom or something like that, possibly.
Yeah, I can see that too. I don't think we'll see anything huge. They're gonna be there at Gamescom, but they're not actually gonna be like doing a stage presentation or anything. There's a rumor about some kind of like fan event that they're doing. I could see them. I mean, games like Below, Cuphead. I mean, I don't know how far along those games have kind of been, in the making for a while. I'm not sure how far along they are. They should be, if not complete, they should be damn near complete at this point. So, like GKB said, we may see something at like a daily show or Xbox Live type daily thing or. But anything new or anything big, I can't really see that happening. But Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
I think you're
knows?
right. Like most of their indies that have come out this year have just kind of had silent releases. Like we know they were coming like a couple of
Yeah.
weeks in advance, but they didn't do like this big,
Are
you
are
know.
any of those going to be in like a preview or no? Any
I
of
don't
those
think
games? I
so.
don't think so. Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
think
no,
so.
because
No,
we had a
just We
few is
Happy Few
going.
is
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that one.
drops this month.
Okay, that's the only one. Okay, that makes sense. All right,
So,
yeah. All right, so we
but
taking questions at this point. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I had to go do
no,
something.
no, we're just filling in time. That's
Yeah, we're
why
just filling in
we're
for
coming
you.
back. So
But as for that though, aren't they supposed to be doing their fan fest thing, like possibly doing like a fan fest thing? So they could possibly like announce a game, not like new titles, of course, but release dates possibly.
You mean the fan fest at Gamescom, like the?
Yeah.
And I don't know. They might. I
I mean, it was
doubt
a
it. Though.
huge success at E3.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't.
I
I
think
mean, that
FanFest
would
is
be
going to be
awesome.
good for them, but I think it's going to be more like giving more VIP treatment to like the gamers out there, like Xbox gamers and stuff. But as far as them getting to hear anything new that nobody else is here, I doubt it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think new IPs. I just mean like release dates to like Cuphead, like the indies. Like they may actually
Yeah,
allow
I hope
people to
so.
be like, oh, hey, it's coming out this day. So
Yeah, that'd be a good stage for them because I don't think, with the exception of Gamescom, are they going to the Paris Game Show?
I don't think we've heard anything about
No.
Paris.
And they're definitely not going to Tokyo Game Show. So I mean, this probably is
Yeah,
like the only opportunity for them to get on a stage and do anything. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I mean I hate to see like a silent release for something that people are expecting, like Below and Cuphead, just kind of like, oh, it's releasing tomorrow, on Twitter, But I it's happened, so I mean I can't say it won't happen again, but those are like some releases that people have been looking forward to. So like those three indies was the Cuphead, Below, and We Happy Few. Like everyone's been waiting for these games. These are like the three big indies for them, and so you think
Mhm.
they kind of give them a little bit more kind of notoriety on a
Well, I thought the
main
problem
stage.
with Cuphead was the fact that it was too hard or something, so they were trying to fix the game mechanics of
Oh,
it.
it was they changed the whole game style.
Yeah,
It was
they
it
have
was just
levels
boss
now.
fights. Yeah, it was really just a bunch of boss fights before. They've added platforming. They've added some type of like gameplay because it was just really like, okay, you do this, there's a boss. You do this, go on to the next boss, and then you go. So now they've added a lot of platforming. I think the game's a little bit bigger than it was previously. So that game is hand drawn too. So it does take a lot of time, especially when you're doing that. So all these other indies that everybody else wants, though, I'm not sure. I mean, I hope we get something soon because I mean, these things, especially games like those, can be announced at any time. Like a release date could
Yeah.
literally be announced like any point in time. Just through a tweet or something on the Xbox YouTube page or you know whatever. So I don't really know. I don't
You
really
know how
know.
many times I've woken up in the morning and went on my Twitter and saw, I think it's ICXM, and they're like, "Oh, this game released today." I'm like, "What game is
Yeah,
that?" I've
like
never
what
heard of
is it?
it
Yeah,
before. And I
yeah,
mean, like I said, I really hate for them to do that to those three indies because, again,
yeah.
they're big indies that people are looking forward to.
Okay.
Some of the smaller titles, like I probably would never picked up anyway. But
Yeah.
so
Did we get through the Nintendo question? I know I kind of cut it off. I had to run real quick and go do something.
Yeah, we talked about
We
it.
talked
Pretty
about
good.
okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. So did you guys see any other questions? Once again, panel, I do apologize. These guys I got a lot going on today, and I'm so sorry, you guys, if my brain's not all the way here. I got a lot going on today. I appreciate you guys so much though for just showing up and rocking out and being active in the chat. I really, really do. It means a lot. Especially, it's like kind of therapeutic for me today, to be honest with you guys. But if you guys, if you guys have any questions,
Yeah,
we're
there's
gonna
quite
take.
a few
Uh,
questions.
yeah, I got
Okay.
another one here, if you
Okay.
guys don't mind. Chicken Spaghetti says, what do you think will be, wait,
Scorpio Showpiece game at launch.
yeah,
Wow.
Crackdown 3, Halo 3 Anniversary, or something else?
Hmm.
Crackdown 3 could make sense. Crackdown could make sense. Bless you, by the way.
Sorry.
No, but Crackdown 3 could definitely make sense. Um, because the fact that we've heard about that game, just the technological advances in that game alone with the cloud and the power needed to get the game running correctly. I mean, this is a game where they had to buy another company to help make the game run properly.
Yeah.
So that extra power, that extra beef that they can get with that Scorpio would make sense. And I think it would be a great launch title. We're looking forward to it anyway. So I mean, why as well running on the best or the most powerful system ever created, to get it running the way it should be running, and for people to play it the way it actually should be played. Who knows? It could have been struggling on the Xbox One as far as trying to get it to optimize for that system with the specs that we currently have now. So Crackdown 3 would definitely make sense. We know it's next year. I don't know if they said early next year. I think they just said next year. I don't know what time they
Yeah.
said for Crackdown 3, so
Yeah.
it's still kind of
If
that's
I had
still
to
kind
guess,
of
it'd
up
probably
there.
be holiday.
Holiday, yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so too, because I don't think there will be a Halo next year. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there won't be. I hope there's
Yeah.
not. I hope they don't do the quick turnaround like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
kind of
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be a Halo or not. I think
Yeah.
the showpiece that might possibly be, because it's hitting the right time frame, is probably another Forza Motorsport.
yeah,
I think that one is probably a likely candidate, especially with all the power and this, that, and the other, man. Like seeing 4K, cars going around, just that would be bananas, man.
yeah. And Turn 10, they're fucking fantastic studio. So yeah, I could see that. I could see Forza also too. That's around the timetable, like you said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely Forza. I would say Crackdown as well, but I would think that they may go with something brand new as well, like whatever
like a
Rare's
new
working on
Mhm.
outside of Sea of Thieves, whether it's Conquer, whether it's Fable. I could see that happening as well.
Yeah.
I could see a Halo still.
What?
Think so?
No.
I could. No, I could see it. Well, hey, I'm sure. Well, no, wait. No, I could still see a Halo, especially to release with that, and with cutting off the story the way that they did.
hmm
It wouldn't be too hard for them to, do the next Halo 3 anniversary or something and continue the story and whatnot that people want.
Well,
I think you might see Halo 3 anniversary this year, or well, I mean in 2017, and then you probably see the next Halo the next year after that.
That's what I'm thinking. There's usually about 3 years in between Halos. They don't ever do two. I don't think they've
two's
ever done two. Two is way too fast for Halo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, so by asking this question, are we officially saying this is the end of this generation?
That's funny because De Niro asked that question earlier. He said, "When will Xbox One and PS4 be abandoned, and how long will this generation last?"
Well, just to kind of, because I said this a long time ago, either just in a regular video or a podcast we did probably 7-8 months ago at least, that we all knew this generation wouldn't last as long as the 360 and PS3 generation did. What we did not know was that there was going to be this race for power, like an arms race, for new tech. I know technology itself moves really fast. There's a new iPhone every year. So in itself it moves fast, but I didn't think that we'd see this big push for beefier systems and GPUs that fast. Like we're literally 3 years in. That's really that's like PC cycle type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I guess that makes sense due to the fact that these systems are as close to PC as they ever been. But I couldn't anticipate that we'd be getting a Scorpio and a Neo at this point, or whatever they call them, whether or not they're PS 4.5 or Xbox Ones or twos. But I didn't. I definitely did. I anticipated at least a good 4-5 years solid 4 or 5 weeks. I saw the Slim coming. We knew about that. I saw that coming, but I still saw a good 4 to 5 years. 5 being the longest as far as the console cycle, but I did not see this. So I don't know if I could necessarily say the console, but it's because it's still compatible with the games, right? Even the One and the Scorpio will be. So it's more of an upgrade. It's not necessarily a new generation. It's more of just a new iteration of the same console. So go ahead, GKB. I know you may have something else.
Yeah, for me, the thing is we know a little bit about the specs of the Scorpio and the Neo, and that's really it. Honestly, we need to really wait until Sony and Microsoft come out, announce these consoles, talk about their plans and the future before we really start saying, hey, is this ending generations or this, that, and the other. Another thing to think about too is like, if the Scorpio comes out and it's like the 6 teraflop or whatever the case may be when it comes out, that's like the realm of like high-end like graphic cards right now in PCs. I mean, you're looking at 980 Ti. That's about like the same like T-flop range as that. I mean, they got the 1080s and everything that's came out now, but they're still like right around that range. They ain't much higher than that. The GPUs are much faster, better architecture. So it's going to be quite a while when the Scorpio and Neo come out before we see a new generation, because like when they come out, like developers still need to make games for this. It's going to be a while before they tap the power on these things. And what I like when devs like build stuff for consoles is they're confined to this space. They really think outside the box when they're building games for these things, because they only got a finite RAM and GPU and all that kind of stuff and CPU power. So that's why I really like the console space for that. But yeah, man, it's a hard question to answer. Like, I think we got a while. If I was gonna go ahead and like put a point on it.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I mean, and you got to think about it this way too. Not only new systems, brand new systems cost a lot of money to manufacture. They take a lot of planning. Not saying that maybe these things are already being talked about. It takes years. They plan years and years ahead of time before they drop these new systems. Maybe they're already in planning, but I can't say for sure that Scorpio is good, because you got to think about costs. Like this new Scorpio is rumored to be $400 or $500 somewhere around there. We're just ballparking at this point. We don't have an amount. Well, some of us are saying 500 due to what's inside of it, due to the GPU. And I mean, we got to wait for the technology to get cheap enough so that they can mass produce these things. So if, like you said, if you're already future proofing your console with the Scorpio, giving it that much power, just from the jump, you're pretty much good for at least another 2 to 3 years. I mean, I'm thinking, technology moves fast, but you're okay for at least another 2. Once you put out the Scorpio, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, look at the timing. Like, Phil came out on E3 and he's like, hey, we're announcing the Scorpio so devs can, get their hands on it right now and start building games. So let's say that's a fact. Like, let's say, hey, they all got the devs on that. I mean, they all got the dev kits on that day. So they're just going to start building games now with all this power and stuff. So we're not going to see anything really, for a couple of years to really take advantage of the Scorpio or Neo power. So, I mean, even at 3 years, I mean, it's probably going to be longer than that before we see another one, honestly. I'm probably thinking like more like on the 5-year range before they really want to go ahead and start pumping out another one.
Okay. But do we even fully know that it's actually going to be another one? Like, they haven't actually said exactly what this system can do, whether it can actually be upgraded or not. The Neo we know is coming out this year, but it wasn't actually meant to be their next big thing. It's kind of their focus to VR. They've kind of already made that clear that this is to focus more on that. Where the Scorpio, we have been told that this is their next big thing. This is what they're bringing to the table, but we still don't know much about it, what it can actually do. So, they have the means. They're Microsoft. They have the means and the third parties and everything else to make a system that could actually be upgradable within a couple of years, but you don't have to buy a new system to do so. And we've heard lots of talk about this throughout the time, that this is, this was always that idea going around whether it was going to happen or not. And it still is slightly possible that it could. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, but the only gripe I have with that, She-Wolf, and you made a lot of great points too, by the way. Only problem I have is that they made sure that they told people that it could give you 6.2 teraflops. They made that, like, they put that out there. This is what it has, this much RAM. It's gonna push this many T-flops. Why, if it was modular? Upgrade it, though. Well, if it was modular, why? If you could upgrade it, why tell people about? If that's static, if those numbers are static, then why tell people, if they're not static, then why tell people the numbers? Why give people T-flops and
to give them a standard base of what like this is what the standard base is
Minimum
going to
standards.
have.
A minimum? Okay.
Yes, like a minimum base. They're giving people, this is what this system is going to be able to do. But when it releases, there's always that, that slightly possibility because Microsoft likes to do that wow factor. So if they turn around and, it releases and they're like, oh, guess what? In a couple of years, if you want to, here you go. You can change it and upgrade higher. Like, there's just those little things that I'm just saying are slightly possible with this system because we don't fully know a lot about it.
Well, that's why I say it's like a really hard question to answer, is like because we have to wait until they announce these things and really see what their game plan is for them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they come out and say they're just static boxes, then I think we got a while before we see any new iterations.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it benefits both companies for them to have another life cycle like we had with the PS3 and the Xbox.
I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, like once they hit that break-even point, they're just making money from that point. I mean, I don't really think, as far as console sales go, Microsoft made a lot of money with this console when you add in production and everything like that. Sony might have made a nice little penny because they have like a bigger base of customers as far as the PlayStation 4 goes, but I think the next cycle that we get, like the Scorpio or the Scorpio and whatever, Sony's gonna answer that at some point in time. They're gonna come out with another console. Whatever that answer is, that's gonna be one of those 10-year generations again, because I think it benefits both companies for them to do that versus this little short 3-year cycle that we had this time.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think that's one thing financially. I mean, we're throwing out numbers, and a lot of these different things. But, yeah, the truth is that, like you said, that's a really, really good point, that it does benefit them for the generation to last a little while at least. Like I said, 5 was what I was thinking. At 5 I was saying max before. So that was the max before. But we're barely hitting 3 now, and we got another SKU coming out here with the S. So that does make sense for them to extend the generation by putting out a lot more powerful console to give it another 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years. As far as the generation, like you said, once they break even, they're kind of cashing out. They've made a lot of money off that 360 the last 3 or 4 years it was on the market. That thing was just raking in the dough. You know what I'm saying? So that does make business sense. So I think we're gonna take 1 or 2 more questions before we get out of here, everybody. And let's see if you guys see anything else. So if you got any questions, go ahead and throw them in there now. We'll just answer them as we possibly can.
Well, while we're on a quick downtime, if you don't mind,
sure.
Blam, I just want to quickly give a big shout out. I'm sure everybody kind of would like to do this to O-Snaps and Xbot for their twins are having their birthday tomorrow. So
nice.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Just a nice happy birthday from the community, you guys.
Awesome. I saw Xbot. I think I saw Xbot in here earlier. I don't know if you see.
Yeah, O-Snap and him were both in there, so that's why I just wanted to.
Shout out Xbox, O-Snap. Appreciate you guys coming rocking out. So happy birthday to the babies.
I got a question that I put on a poll on Twitter. Just kind of random, but
sure.
So we have the Gears of War 4 console coming out, and we also have a controller coming out. So my question was in the poll: would you rather have a custom console that releases with games, or would you rather have a custom controller instead?
Console.
Really?
Yeah, I much prefer a console. Well, you mean like so we get the custom console, but we don't get the controller?
Well, no. Let's say you get the custom console with a controller, maybe like the new controllers coming out, or would you rather get an elite controller, custom elite controller that's tailored to the game that's coming out as well as the game?
See, for me, Predator, it's like I already got an elite controller. I really don't need another one at this point. Yeah. I'm a big controller guy too. Like I bought like all the other like the white and all those other controllers too, like all the Halo ones and everything too. But just for me, like I don't need an elite one. And I'd much rather I love the custom consoles.
The consoles,
especially that Gears.
I think that's a pretty easy question. I think honestly, for me at least, I don't know about anybody else, but I definitely take the console. I mean, the controllers are nice. Don't get me wrong. That Gears controller is nice. It's really, really nice. But I much
both of them are nice. Yeah.
Definitely. It's not. I see the one that comes with the console isn't as like detail oriented. You know, it doesn't have like the engravings and the claw markings and all that stuff like actually in the controller. But it's still a really nice controller, and I much rather prefer to have the actual console itself be custom than have just a controller that's or an elite. Because once you get an elite, like even just a plain elite controller, it's really it's really nothing else from there. So
I
I think
would have. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I think
Go
the
ahead.
question would be like, really good for like somebody that doesn't have an elite controller or a custom console and really see which one they would go for. I would like to see their answer for sure.
I just want to say that my opinion is if the Elite controller came out for, like, say, Titanfall 2, just for an example, because it's, like, my favorite game,
Ugh.
then I would end up, because I do use my Elite controller, like, I don't use any other controller. So to just have one personal one that I could switch out my old one with, then I would be okay with. But to buy nonstop, I would choose custom consoles, but I would definitely want at least one Elite custom controller.
Yeah, and that makes sense based on what GKB said. If you already have one, then it's kind of a no-brainer to custom console because you're not really missing out by not having the extra bells and whistles. You're still getting that high quality, the best controller created ever, probably.
I'd rather have the controller personally, but
That's
that's
cool.
me.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
I mean, it's cheaper. I mean, you can only play one Xbox at a time, but I would probably swap out controllers just for shits and giggles. Because you got to keep in mind, like, you get not only do you get that controller that looks nice, but you also get the attachments to go to the Elite controller, like the
little.
pad and
Yeah.
the little weird shit that comes with it. But
You know what? To be honest, though, you could. Shit with the design lab, and I know they're probably gonna sell gears like little attachments separate any damn way, like the D-pad and the paddles and things like that, the joysticks interchangeable. They'll probably sell them separate anyway. So I mean, you can always go that route too. It may be a little cheaper.
yeah, true. I mean, if they came in with a bundle, that'd be great. But I mean, they've not done that yet, which is another like a selling point. I think they should to kind of work on too. I know they did it with Halo, I believe.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
some paddles.
They need to come out with, like, custom plates. Like, they don't have to sell the whole controllers.
Exactly.
But to come out with the custom plates for, the front of the Elite controller, so, they have the attachments, but they have the plate of, like, say, your favorite game.
See, I think the design lab, like right now, is like a test. Like I think if it does really well, they're gonna add like Elite controller stuff on there and all that other kind of stuff too.
I'm
Like,
curious to see
how
well
hard
that's doing right now.
Yeah, that too, because I mean, I don't think it would be that difficult for them to put like skins in there, like that people could put on the controller, like just on a plain black or white controller. Just throw a Gear skin or a Halo skin or CFD skin on the controller. It shouldn't cost much more than the painted controller. Like I don't really think it would be that much more costly. But maybe you're right. Maybe over time, and we've seen this with Xbox before, they'll throw it out there, test the waters a little bit. If it's popular and it works and a lot of people are doing it, they'll probably add in, and that's something that we could probably request too. If so run that by Phil or Major Nelson or Mikey borrow somebody. Hey, is that ever going to come? You're going to see something like that if it's popular. That's a good question, though, Shibu. That's really good.
Do they sell that Gears Elite, the red one, not the blue and silver one? Do they sell that Gears Elite controller separately?
The one that comes with the actual console?
Yeah.
Or,
That's not an Elite controller.
Yeah, it's not an Elite. It's a
not Elite. I'm sorry, I missaid it. But like, do they sell that
no,
console that controller by
not
itself?
as of yet. It's not, but there is still always that possibility though, because they did that with the Halo one, where Locke's controller eventually became sold separately, so they might do it. But the Forza one, they didn't though.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. We'll see. We'll definitely see. So I think. What time is it now? Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, everybody. Once again, I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm sorry I started late. I had a lot going on today. I still do. Appreciate you guys rocking out. I'm going to go around the panel, let everybody give a shout out. Once again, this is from me to the panel. I appreciate you guys, family, a lot, just for coming on the show every week. I missed last week, but I wanted to make it up this week. So go ahead, Pred. Give yourself a shout out. Let everybody know where they're going to find you.
First of all, shout out to the 200 subs I have on Twitter. I did a little mini contest this week. I gave away a $20 gift card to everybody who helped me get over the 200 hump. So thank you for that. You can catch me here on the Shop Podcast on Saturdays. I have my own channel called the Xbox After Party, which I will be rebranding since I'm deploying here pretty soon. I want to do something where basically it's a podcast of gaming on the go for military people. The difficulties we have when we're deployed trying to game. So I'll be doing that here later at the end of the year, like maybe a weekly podcast or something like that. So catch me here, catch me in everybody else's chat during everybody else's podcasts, and thanks for tuning in.
All right, GKB Governor, go ahead, man. Let everybody know.
Oh man, like being deployed is really tough to game, man. Like I was out there for like a year, man. It was tough. Yeah, it's GKB the Governor. Yeah, we're gonna be rocking out on the Council Corner on Tuesday. That's gonna be like a whole Q&A, like community topic stuff. Like we're gonna grab everything from the chat as it's going the whole time. We want to give you guys like this cool like viewer community show. So it's gonna be all about you guys. We're gonna answer everything. You can ask us our favorite color, whatever the heck you want. We'll answer it. So it's gonna be a good time. Then we're gonna be on Xbox Nation, and then back on the Shop Podcast. It's gonna be great. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, lady. She-Wolf, let everybody know where they can find you, love.
You can find me on Twitter at xshewolfx. You can also find I write a weekly community article for icxm.net. You can also find me on the Console Corner on Gamers Knows Best. You can also find me on just Gamers Knows Best channel because that's mine and GKB's channel. You can also find me on Xbox Nation, and of course you can find me sometimes here because I get to rock out with these guys. So yeah.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, you guys can catch me PTK BLAM on Twitter. Trying to get my channel over 1,000 subs by the end of the year. I'm closing in on 800. I think I'm about 6 or 7 short. So if you haven't subbed to the channel, man, go ahead and click that sub button, click that like button. I really appreciate what you guys have been doing. I know I have not been putting out a lot of content. I just got a lot of shit going on, to be honest. So I just want to be honest with you guys. So I'm definitely going to be ramping up here. The channel is actually going to get a new paint job here pretty soon. I've been talking with a couple people behind the scenes. Yeah, so it's going to get a new paint job as far as banners, thumbnails, logo. I'm going to get an official logo for PTK BLAM. So that's going to be nice. I'm still working out the details on that. But you guys can catch me on Twitter also. PTK
Can we know
BLAM.
who the awesome artist is going to be?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
It actually may be a collaboration, so I'm still working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't ironed all that. I don't want to let the cat out the bag yet. Yeah, so no pun intended. But yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for coming to the show and loving the content. We do this. I do this every Saturday with GKB She-Wolf. Once again, shout out to Matt, Asthmatic. Shout out to Elite Gamer, Tim Dog, Mooch, everybody that's came on the channel. Appreciate you guys. And you guys have a good Saturday. Be safe. Take care of your family. Love each other. And as GKB would say,
take care of your fellow gamers.
All right. By the way, are you guys doing a game night tonight?
Yep.
Like that? Okay, so go ahead and let everybody know about that, GKB or She-Wolf, either one.
Good, She-Wolf. You did.
Community game time should have started 6 minutes ago, but hey, we're a little bit late. We had some issues with Battlefield 4, so it kind of got switched to Doom from vote that won. But hey, if it ends up getting too many people, we may end up having to switch back to Battlefield. So keep an eye out to see exactly how it's all going. And of course, join. Everyone is welcome.
All right. So yeah, you guys rock out with them. I may be on. It just depends on what I'm doing after the show, but I may jump in there myself. So you guys take it easy, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Like I said, be safe, and we're out of here, everybody. You guys take care of each other. Have a good one.